Hi, I'm Ernie Shimizi for WVVH TV. Different communities in New York State are looking at movie making and television and video as a source of economic impact for their communities. Tonight, we're going to be part of the Suffolk County Film Commission's meeting to talk about movie making, film, and television, and what it means to the community. So stay with us. It'll be quite interesting. On this important night, we're celebrating movie making and film and video in Suffolk County. And who best to speak about this but our County Executive, Steve Levy. Steve, pleasure to catch up with you.
It's wonderful to be with you here today.
The economy is in pretty rough shape. But Suffolk County has been weathering the storm, haven't we?
We've been trying. We are feeling the effects as well, because so much of our economy is revolved around the real estate industry and finance. But we have some tricks up our sleeves, and to grow our economy, we're looking for new things. And film and media creation is one of those clean type of industries that we want to put a premium on here in Suffolk County. We have the stars here already, living and vacationing here. We might as well put them to work and create the studios and the tax incentives and the other amenities that they need to not only have great films premiere here, but to be produced here as well.
Steve, for the benefit of our viewers, movie making got its start in Suffolk County.
Yes. I mean, New York is where it started way before Hollywood, but then it took a turn to the West Coast, but it's coming back. And, you know, we now have tax incentives of up to 30% to attract these studios. We're carving out a big section of our new industrial development at the West Hampton Airport just for media production. We're creating a one-stop shopping center for producers to know that we're a film-friendly type of county here, and that is going to create the incentive necessary, we believe, to make this one of the fastest-growing industries here in the tri-state region.
What does movie making and television bring to the community, aside from the people who are in the industry? And we know the schools are turning out people all day, every year, who want to be part of motion picture, television, and want to live and work close to home. But does it affect the local community when a film is being made in that community?
There is a tremendous filtering down effect when a film is being produced, or a television series in a particular community. All of the hotel rooms get booked. All of the restaurants start to get filled up. The crew has to go out and buy tape and nails and hammers, so they go to the hardware stores. And this has a tremendous ripple effect throughout our whole economy. It's a clean economy. It's environmentally friendly. It's fun to have this production here in the area. And it's so good for the economy. So we're very bullish on the concept of media production here. And that's why I've been taking such a lead in letting the producers know that if they come to Suffolk, not only will they have the rolling hills and the estates and the farms and the beautiful beaches, but they'll have a government that wants them to do their thing right here.
And you have an able person who's running this department for you in Michelle Stark.
Yeah, well, we have a great economic development leader, and Skip Heaney, who's the former supervisor here in Southampton, and Michelle Isabelle-Stark is our head of the film division. And they do great work, and the word is spreading, outside of Long Island to these heavy-duty producers in New York and beyond, that this is the place in which to produce a film or a television pilot or what have you.
Steve, continued success. We're all friends from your days in the Assembly. This is a man who's been involved in politics and working for the people of Long Island, New York State for many years. These are difficult times, but we're all the better having an experienced fellow like yourself, and continued success to you in this great county.
Thank you so much, and we're going to get through this just as we have before, but we have to be a bit innovative, and what you're seeing tonight is one of the ways that we're going to move on in a very productive manner.
We're joined by Michelle Stark, who's the Director of Film and Cultural Affairs for Suffolk County, and this is the lady who facilitates, makes it all possible.
That's right.
Now, you were referred this evening as your department is a one-stop shop. You really are a one-stop shop, aren't you?
Yeah, we really are. For film productions, if you start with our office, you have access not only to all the Suffolk County amenities, including parks, fire academy, police, buildings such as the Denison, which, by the way, was just scouted by SALT, starring Angelina Jolie. It looks like a 1950s-60s CIA government building, so it's very popular. The Bourne Ultimatum came out there. That's one example. We also work with all the towns and villages. We know them, we have relationships with them. We can tell producers about any kind of agencies that they need to contact, such as the Department of Environmental Conservation or others. Because, of course, Long Island is surrounded by water. We're very sensitive to environmental issues. So we help producers, navigate through various agencies and permitting processes.
Michelle, Suffolk County is most unique because we have rivers, we have obviously ocean, we have water. You can film westerns. Wasn't Rudolph Valentino?
Yes, Rudolph Valentino and the Sheik. He actually shot in the dunes of Montauk. And we have a cattle ranch, we have buffalo, we have ducks, we have pigs, horses. We have all kinds.
A lot of horses that we're aware of. Well, your department and what you're doing and the commissioners who are part of your team, you've made a big impact. And your success brings about success for the lumber yard, the sandwich shops, people who want to work in this business. Let's talk a little bit about television, because that's what we're all about. That's important to you too, isn't it, promoting TV?
Absolutely. And television, I would say, is really one of the growing segments of production. Feature films are the big blockbuster feature films. There's not many of them made. There's a lot more independent films or television shows that are made for cable and internet outlets, so I think it's a really important business segment.
You wear a lot of hats, don't you?
Yes, I'm pretty fortunate.
Co-owner of the largest motion picture, film, and video studio, I'd say, in Long Island?
Yes. We've got 35,000 square feet, 18,000 square feet in the sound stage.
And this is Michael Wooddyka?
Yes.
And Michael, you're also the owner of the Enclave Inns.
Yes, the Enclave Inns.
Which are a group of great hotels.
Right, we have 5 hotels in the local area: Bridgehampton, Southampton, Wainscott, and Shinnecock.
So when I mentioned to you movie making, you've got it covered on all ends, but
yes,
you're really
absolutely
committed to it.
No, Mitchell and I made a commitment to the community, and one of the things that we're very fortunate for is coming out to the community and building something off-season. Summer takes care of itself, but we were really committed, being fathers out here and being, living, we wanted to build something off-season. And the studio gives everyone a great opportunity, not just in lodging, but also restaurants, lumber yards, gas stations, everyone that's involved, extra work, PAs that work on the set, throughout. It's really an amazing thing.
East Hampton Studios is an awesome facility.
Thank you.
The size of it,
neighbors.
We're neighbors. VVH Television is right next door,
yes.
And what you guys have there marvels anything that you'd see in Hollywood or any place east from Hollywood.
Well, we're very fortunate, and along with that, we're also we're approved on the New York State tax credit. So we're one of the few studios that are actually able to have a 30% tax credit. So we're really excited about that, and that's really boomed up business dramatically for us.
So if there are any producers, television, motion picture, who are interested in producing here in New York, East Hampton Studios, it's easthamptonstudios.com.
Yes.
Talk to this man or his partner.
We also do event. We've got an unbelievable event space. So we had Scope in the summer, of which you guys covered and did so well at, as well as all the different things that happen. We also do a lot of nonprofits out of there because it's such a large space, as opposed to having it someplace in someone's lawn. You can have it at our place. So we do event space as well.
Well, Michael, I've known you for a number of years. You're not that old, but I've known you for a number of years.
Yeah.
And if you look up entrepreneur in the dictionary, you'll see his picture.
Well, thank you. You guys are wonderful as well. We really appreciate
everything. Thank you for what you do, because what you're doing is creating an opportunity for jobs and for business to stay here locally on Long Island. So we're rooting for you, and I know you just had a number of movies and a number of projects.
Yes.
Could we mention any of them, or are they all hush-hush?
We had HBO out here with Barry Sonnenfeld. He was out here and did something with Kelly Preston. It's called Suburban Shootout. They weren't for a couple of months. We just had Lisa Kudrow and Jeff Daniels out, and they did a nice little impact here with Ryan Reynolds. So it was really nice. It's exciting stuff. So we've been very fortunate to have it out here. And what a great place. I mean, you know what it's like. What a great place to be out here and actually live and work.
Well, watch out, Hollywood. Michael's hot on your trail. True innovator here in Southampton, but a fellow who's reached out to the world with his internet work. And you were one of the first people to come to my brother and myself and talk about the internet. We said, what are you talking about?
Way back in the dinosaur age of the 90s.
Robert Florio of Hamptons.com. Hamptons.com, known throughout the world. I'll say the top website here in the Hamptons that has become the portal for everyone. So
well, it has. It's evolved as from a directory site to a magazine to a whole news source now, and it's basically all the news and sports and community and also the culture and entertainment. So it's a multimedia network.
24/7, people have access all over the world, and you guys, it's so rich. Editorially rich.
Well, thank you. We were just talking. It's the first rule is to have excellent content, and that's you have to collect that team, put it together, manage it. You have to also have a very good sales team, and you have to be able to coordinate those two things together.
We're based out here in the Hamptons, and Robert, Hamptons.com, but there are certain misconceptions for people. Right now, our TV station is seen into Westchester, New York City, where Verizon Fios 14.
Yep.
And when people think of the Hamptons, there is an example of what that means,
yes,
which is glorious.
Right.
But there's more to it, and your site really covers all of that.
Well, I'm so I could just give you $5 here for having said that, but he didn't give me. But actually, one of the underlying structures of what we're trying to do is that we believe the Hamptons is perceived or has been perceived as certain things, whether it's shishi rich or something else. We believe that the Hamptons have evolved and that they are a multifaceted cultural area, and Hamptons.com tries to meet that diversity, tries to meet those different needs of the community. Also, pay attention to that influx of summer traffic and also some of the celebrity things and the entertainment value that you have. But in the end, you have a very robust, multifaceted area that is something that needs to be covered from all different angles, and I think we can bring the internet, that technology to bear through the different uses of things, through editorial, video, things like that.
Well, you're an innovator. The internet started, for the most part, it started as an information source,
right.
But now it's a network, it's
That's
television,
right.
It's radio.
Yeah.
It's
all
nonstop.
convergent. It's all convergent back into that. And as time goes on, even you mentioned like Verizon Fios, that's eventually IP as well. So I mean, it's all converging into a multimedia system. And whether it's delivery over television, a computer, your iPhone, and other devices, could be a screen on your refrigerator. It's all going to be media kind of packaged and pumped out in those different areas.
Just a personal note, what I really love about what you do, Robert, and at Hamptons.com is the opportunities you provide to a number of people. We're talking about jobs and getting into this business. Mm-hmm. And it is wonderful to see the people who've come through your place, who work for you. They bring a level of quality and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And we need more. We talk about small businesses. We need more grassroots businesses that create an impact in their community. So continued success.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And next time you walk into my office and talk about an internet,
we're going to be talking about internet too or something like that.
I'll take notice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Two of the commissioners of Suffolk County, and Laura, we know you. You've been a part of this industry, but you've got a special guest here for us also.
Absolutely. Well, Lenny is a fellow commissioner. He's a filmmaker as well. He does TV and film, and is a longtime producer. Most of us on the Film Commission are active filmmakers, and we cover all of Suffolk County. And we're here tonight because we want to bring together local elected officials with members of the business community to talk about the benefits of film production in our township.
Lenny, this is an important organization for you, isn't it, to be part of this commission and the great work that it does?
Yes, I enjoy it. I've been in the industry almost 30 years, and thanks to Steve Levy and the current legislation who reinstated the Film Commission, there was a 9-year lapse where there was no Film Commission in Suffolk County. And our group has been working very hard to create the interest of film producers and TV people to come out here and see Long Island for what it is and do production out here, which really helps the community economically. And we know times are tough right now, so the entertainment industry always does well, and we're hoping it comes out here and helps our community as well.
Now, you're both working professionals in the entertainment industry. How is it working in Suffolk County for those who have never worked here before?
Well, it's so beautiful out here, and there's so much talent that's local, but to be honest, we need more. We need more. I mean, I still do a lot of traveling to work, and the whole idea is if you build it, they will come. You know, the idea is to create a thriving film industry in Suffolk County so that I don't have to go to New York City or out of state or LA to work, you know. I'd love to work here all the time. You know, I'd love to work here with my friends and neighbors who are talented and are great to work with. But let's keep it home.
And Lenny, 30 years in the business, a little bit about what you've been doing and what aspect of the business.
Well, I was with a director with NBC for 24 years, directing sporting events. And then I left to start my own entertainment company, which creates TV shows for both the broadcasters here in America as well as international broadcasters, because we're a worldwide global market right now.
Well, thank you both for all the great work you do. The Suffolk County Film Commission, these are two of our commissioners. Continued success, because movie making, as we heard from Steve Levy, brings other business to this community. So looking forward to hearing your comments and continued success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Michelle Krugman, who's one of our keynote speakers tonight. You have a resume that is unbelievable. I'll start with Saturday Night Live. You were an original part of that group.
Right.
You worked with Jim Henson.
Right.
This man is amazing what he's been able to create, bringing it to also a lot of things that children would know, young teenagers would know.
Right.
Clarissa.
Grew up on my show. Yep. Clarissa Explains It All, Bear in the Big Blue House, Book of Pooh, Life with Derek, which is on now, and Big Big World, which is my PBS series that's on.
Big World, a big series which Michelle Krugman produced here on the eastern end of Long Island. So you put your money where your heart is.
Totally.
And now you are co-owner of East Hampton Studios.
That's right, with Michael Adika.
What brought you out here, and why are you so passionate about developing this industry here on the East End?
There's just an opportunity. The bottom line is there's an opportunity to build an industry out here. And it's something that obviously the East End needs, because what other industries can you build out here? And it's media-rich territory to begin with. And with the New York State tax incentive and the current, Suffolk County administration, Steve Levy and his offices, they want to make the film business work out here. So it's a giant opportunity. So I was attracted by that.
The film industry has always been part of the eastern end of Long Island.
Right.
Fits and starts. We know that there are a lot of people who are major players. Yourself, part of that list, Steven Spielberg, Barry Sonnenfeld, who you mentioned, who live, Alec Baldwin.
Right.
To keep them here and to produce here is an awesome responsibility, because you've got the biggest studio that can make that happen.
Well, we're hoping to build to the point where we're very thankful that Barry Sonnenfeld shot in our studio for 2 months. And he's an East Ender, so that's a great potential. We know Spielberg's out here. We're dying for the day that he walks into the studio. It hasn't happened yet. But we're talking to a lot of TV series. Look, our price point and our ability to put together a package that's economical and attractive is giant in the business right now, and they're maxed out in the city, so we have a real opportunity.
You mentioned the incentives. There's some great incentives now for filmmakers who choose to come and produce here in Suffolk County.
Right. Well, what's happened is that the New York State has realized that for every dollar spent on production, there's $3 or more spent in the economy in general. So it really triples its value. And so the incentive is worth it because it brings business out, and then it trickles into like dry cleaners and hardware stores. Barry Sonnenfeld bought $10,000 worth of lumber out here, off season. These are big numbers. This really matters. My production, we spent $2 million out here locally. So off season especially, you don't need it during the season. Obviously there's a lot going on here then, but wouldn't it be great if we had a year-round industry?
And that's your goal, and we're rooting for you because...
Thank you. Well, you're part of it.
Well,
you guys are doing it for crying out loud.
TV benefits too.
That's right.
You give us great programs, but continued success, Mitchell.
Well, you guys too. We need to be the media center of the East End out there at LTV, was another great organization, LTV. So
absolutely, all on Industrial Road. But you're leading the charge. So
Thank you.
We look forward 5 years from now. Where do you see this going?
I think we will have a media center, the equivalent of Tribeca and Silver Cup by that time out here, with radio and TV, like your TV station, and TV production, and the whole web production, the whole thing out here. I really think it'll happen.
I know it's going to happen. Thank you. We're joined by a dear friend of WVVH-TV. In fact, when we started this TV station 14 years ago, this gentleman, Fred Thiele, was town supervisor of Southampton, and together with Tony Bullock, who was town supervisor of East Hampton,
we flipped the switch.
You guys flipped the switch and you turned us on, and I always said to you that if ever we have to be turned off, you'll be the guy to do it.
Well, thankfully that day hasn't come, and I know you folks are doing very well and have become a real integral part of the South Fork and East End community.
Absolutely, and now we've expanded to being seen in New York City and Westchester on Verizon Fios 14. New York State is really committed to motion pictures and television, aren't they?
Well, we really have been, and in our last budget cycles, we were working on the tax credits to make New York more competitive for the film and TV industry, and particularly areas not like New York City, which already have it, but to try to grow that industry in other parts of the state. And of course, we think that the East End of Long Island is the perfect place, given the people who live here, who summer here, that this is the perfect place to try to grow the film and the TV industry.
Fred, you're an assemblyman. You're part of all the things that are happening in New York State right now. How do we stand in terms of our state and where we're going and the need for events such as this?
Well, obviously, as we all know, the economy is bad. On the state level, they're talking about losses of revenue and budget cuts. So we need things that are going to grow industry here in New York State, things that diversify our economy. We're so dependent on the financial industry in the city of New York that it points out the need for diversity. And a good, clean industry with lots of employment is the film and the TV industry.
Well, you've been part of this community. You've brought jobs to this community, and we're looking forward to seeing you continue as our assemblyman here on the eastern end of Long Island and bringing those motion picture dollars from Hollywood here to Suffolk County.
Right. Well, we have something to offer. We just got to get the word out.
My name is Patrick Skip Heaney. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a recovering local elected official. Okay. I now serve as Commissioner of Economic Development and Workforce Housing for the County of Suffolk. It's a job in which I get to wear many different hats. Tonight I am wearing the hat. It's called Chairman of the Suffolk County Film Commission, all of which means I get to introduce the people who really do the work in that area, including, I want to recognize her, Michelle Stark, who does an outstanding job. Michelle is the program coordinator for our department's Office of Film and Culture. In a moment, I will introduce our Master of Ceremony for the night, the Vice Chairman of the Film Commission. He'll offer some comments, and he will formally introduce Steve Levy, who is our county executive. Prior to doing that, we know that our elected officials really are important community partners when it comes to working with film production crews that need to do a shoot in a town or in a village. And so we want to take a moment to recognize those officials who have come out and joined us tonight because they are important partners. And in no particular order, I'm just going to, as they appear on the page, I want to recognize Sundi Schermeyer, who is the town clerk here in the town of Southampton. Sundi, are you still here? Okay. The next listed is Assemblyman Fred Thiele, who has for many, many years been a friend of the arts. Okay. Followed by Mayor Epley, the Southampton Village Mayor, Mark. Okay. And Supervisor Bill McGinty from the town of East Hampton is here. Bill? Thank you, Bill. Also want to recognize Councilwoman Anna Throne-Holst from the town of Southampton. I want to recognize Assemblyman Mark Alessi from the North Fork. Mark, thank you for being here tonight. And I want to recognize the deputy. He said, don't introduce me, but I'm going to introduce him because he's really a great guy. Deputy County Executive Ben Zwern. Ben?
What I want to talk about is our promotion of film festivals. Stony Brook is growing bigger and better every year, and of course the Hampton Film Festival is now getting tremendous attention internationally. And what's so great about it is that, you know, prior to this being such a big deal, if you went to downtown East Hampton on an October evening, you know, it was quaint, but it was real quiet. A lot of people like it that way, but the merchants certainly do not. But when you're there during that week of the film festival, the ripple effect on the economy is tremendous. So again, we have the place where we're showing the world premieres. We want this also to be the place where we're actually producing those films for people to see. The ripple effect, tremendous. When we had that Showtime pilot last year, people asked me, the reporter asked me, so who's benefiting by this? You know, of course it's the producer, of course it's the people working on the film, but what about all the hotels that are booked during that time? What about all the restaurants that get a 30–40% increase in their clientele during that time? What about all the tape and the lumber and the screws and the hammers that you have to buy at the local hardware store? This is a great industry that filters out through the rest of the community, and it's clean. Who can complain about it? So it's fun, it's great for our identity, and it's great for our economy. It's the trifecta. I'm so happy to be your partner in making this work. Let's go out there and make Suffolk what it could be in the film industry. Thank you all very, very much.
My goal is really to take this to the next level. I think, you know, when I first moved here and when Michael and I first bought the studio, you know, there was a lot of history of a lot of wishes, but not a lot of reality. And I don't think we're there yet by any means, but we've definitely made the foothold between the last productions we've had and the high quality of the facilities and the beginning of vendors understanding what we're doing. And I also have to say the towns, because I think what's happened and is starting to happen is that the towns and the villages, especially with the work that Michelle and the Film Commission has done, are starting to see how if they can make a smoother, streamlined process for people to come out here and shoot out here, that's good. They're more likely to come. They're more likely to come and work here. And I think that's got to be done. And this is something that I hope really gets out to the community. It's got to be done with respect for the community. It's not just about turning everybody's backyard into a location for a filmmaker to shoot something or an independent filmmaker to shoot something and just close off all your streets. It's about finding the ways to integrate with our local communities and the sensitivities of those communities to encourage that production, to encourage the benefits to the economy and to the businesses that are local. So I think there's a great upside here. I think that it's an interesting time economically, obviously, with the recession. But I think the film business, of all the businesses, especially with the incentives that exist in all the competing states from Illinois to New Mexico, really has an opportunity to take hold here. And it's always seemed like it's been a manifest destiny. So I'm hoping that the businesses and the towns can really get behind it. So thanks.
Thank you for joining us. For WVVH-TV, I'm Ernie Shimizi.